Yeah, so today we will be starting about web design for your web shop. And in order to talk about all the things, all the steps you need to do to improve maybe on the design you are currently using, we will have to look into a shop. And I did prepare one for you, which is actually a Dutch shop. so I will show you everything in the shop in the language you are probably used to look at. But I will just speak English and hopefully this will all work out all right. So most changes we want to do, or basically all the changes we want to do, are located here in the menu under Editor. So if we go to Editor, you usually already have something. If you're starting brand new with your shop, you have some example images, some example products already pre-created so that you can actually work with something. And the first step I would always recommend of doing is going to the design templates down here and then go to select a theme, and then you will see an overview over all the available themes. Currently we have 7 completely different themes and 3 styles for each of those themes. And the styles are variants of the same thing, but using different fonts and some other slight differences that you might want to be using instead of the primary version of it. And we have Vision Elegant here, which basically has a full width header image. So if you later on look at the page, there will be an image at the very top of the page, or almost the very top of the page, which is going over the full width of the actual page. Usually most content of the page will only be in the center, because this is where primarily the human view field is. So a human sitting at a desktop computer can usually view at around 1000 pixels width. So all the really important elements should always be in the middle of the page within this width. But of course, some images and some other smaller things could be over the full page, which always looks a little bit nicer. Is primarily good for, let's say, shops where you want to emotionally connect to the people visiting the shop. So if you sell fashion or kids' toys or something, so products that are really have a human nature in them, you probably want to use big images to hook your visitors directly to that topic of whatever you are selling. Then we have the neutral theme here, which is much more streamlined, a very simple centered image, and then directly going to products. This is much more viable for maybe technical products and things like that. And then we have basically variations of these two themes, because that's basically one shop falls in the one or the other category. So we have Essence here, once again, more smaller images. So showing maybe a variety of products, once again, technical products, maybe books, something like that, or albums, which is one of the examples. And then we have Limelight, which is once again full with images here, with a very compact header area. This is one of my favorite themes, I gotta say. So I would strongly recommend using Limelight if in any way possible. Editorial, once again, big images here. Uptown is a little bit special because it actually uses colored backgrounds, which is very unusual for websites nowadays. But you can still find a very few websites who are using colored backgrounds. But you really have to be careful when doing it to not do a too dark or too weird background and so on. And then we have structure here, which actually has a little bit of a structure in the background, like a little bit of a pattern, stone or something like this, like very fine stone that you can see in the background, making the background a little bit more interesting, even if you go for contemporary here, which would be basically a white or light gray background. So not too much color, but a little bit of visual interest if you really want to do so. Most web shops you will see that are really successful out there on the whole European markets will have white background and then, black writing, because it's just the easiest for the eyes to read everything. And also you have a very high contrast between the font and the actual background color, which is important for Google. So Google actually measures the font color and measures the background color, and then has a routine checking how good the contrast is between those two. And if the contrast is too low, then Google will actually not even read the text, but will ignore it because it's not readable for Google. I mean, it is readable, but it wouldn't be good readable for a human person. So Google will ignore all this content. So my strong recommendations always go with a white background color and a very, very dark, almost black font. A very dark gray is ideal. So the contrast is really nice between the white and the font. Yeah, once you can look at a demo shop for all these themes, actually play around in them, try some things out. How does the menu work? How does this work? But once you are happy with one of the themes and you think that's a good one for your shop, you can see a preview of it with your content, but that of course only works once you created a little bit of content, like some images and so on, or you can just select the theme and then it's the active theme. And then you just need to save your change. I always have to think a little bit because there's a different word there than the one I'm saying. So bear with me here, please. Yeah, and once we did that, we are here in the editor and we can now start working on some changes that we might want to do to this actual page. We will start today with looking at the 4 icons here at the bottom. The first one is to edit the header area. The second one is to edit the footer area. And then we have 2 more. So let's start with the first one here. This is for the header area. Here you can decide if you want to actually show a logo, if you do have a logo, or just the name of your shop. I could just click this here, and then it just would say webinar shop in this case. So if I do not have a good logo in good quality, ideally maybe a PNG format, so it's transparent and it's not, white background, and then the logo is on there. Maybe my header area is blue, so it would show up weird. And I actually have an image like this that I can use. So either just show the name of your shop or a logo. But if you show a logo, make sure it's a really good quality. You can change the size of the logo, the margins between the logo and the actually the page borders here, and actually also the size of the logo. So it should be a good size so that it's really visible. So something like this is okay, but just make sure that this whole header area does not get too big just because of the logo, which is something that we wouldn't want to have, because we want to go into the content as fast as possible. Yeah. So once I'm happy with this, I can save. But there's another button here, and this is for USPs, which is for unique selling points. So the things that make your shop unique or a special service that you have, or something else that you want to mention. You can put anything here. Maybe you have a 24-hour hotline. So you just put in 24-hour hotline and then your number, whatever that number is. I'm just putting a random number here now. And you can have an icon here and just say save, and then it will show up at the very top of your page in a row with all the other ones that you decide to use here. You could have a very generous return policy or whatever else, or free shipping within the Netherlands or something like this. You can have up to 5 entries here. You can just, click here, highlight the entry. You can change the icon. Actually, we have a big variety of icons that you can use that should be good enough to basically show almost any kind of text that you want to put behind it. You can also decide to not show the icon and just have a little bit of text here. So whatever you decide, you can put up here. And this is really good because this is something that is within your header area. So it's always going to be visible. So if it's a phone number or contact email or something like this, it's accessible from every page, which is really useful for most users. So once you're happy with this, just hit save. And let's go to the next thing here, which is actually the bottom area. So the footer area. So if I scroll down to the footer to have a little bit of a preview here, we have all our legal pages. Most of them are required by law, European law, and probably also laws in the Netherlands, specifically for e-commerce, which is like your privacy policy, your terms and conditions, things like that. If for whatever reason you do not want to show one of them, you can hide them here. So you just can click on the eye symbol and it will not be shown, because maybe you are not selling things yet, just using the software as a website or for whatever other reason, right? It's just your decision to show these pages or not. We don't want to limit you here, but make sure that you operate within all the legal requirements that there are for web shops in your country. Then you can also decide to show some logos. We have logos for payment partners and logos for logistic partners. So whatever partners you want to use, like PostNL, UPS, GLS, whatever, you can just click on the company here, on the logistics company, and automatically a logo is very small down here, PostNL, will be shown. Same goes for payment methods that you can show. Also, if you are offering a payment method, Ideal is one that is very popular in the Netherlands, as far as I know. You could just go to the Ideal page, get their logo, and then upload your own logo here. Just click here, upload a logo, and use your own logo to show, and then it will be fine, right? So just do that, and then otherwise you can just, click whatever other option you like, and it will be shown. All of these will be the same height, so you don't have to worry about, working with those little graphics. Just find a very suitable image file to upload for your own stuff, and you can show them all here. So this is for logistic companies, and this is for payment partners, and both offer the option to upload your own logo for any companies that we did not include here. And then, of course, you can link your shop to your social media pages like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, or YouTube. These are the ones we currently have implemented and where we do show the logos. So you can just, click on all of them, put your links here to your Facebook page, Twitter page, and so on. And all the correct logos will be shown in the footer area. Colors might change depending on the theme that you have been choosing for your shop. So this is for us really important, that you can very easily add, payment partners and so on, because it's a big trust symbol for people visiting your shop, going through your page and looking at the footer area and seeing, oh, this is actually, they have a Facebook page, so I can contact them, I can chat with them, I can, post something there. It's really important for me. And of course, showing those logos helps with that. For me personally, it's always really important that I can pay with PayPal, for example. So I will always check if I can see a PayPal logo somewhere on the first page. And it's really helpful if it's in the footer area, because that's the first place I usually look for it. Then we have some advanced settings here with those little clock wheels, which the one is for the cookie notice message, where you can change the text if you want to change the text or just decide not to show it. Then you can implement the Google Tag Manager. What is the Google Tag Manager? It's actually a tool provided by Google where you need to have a Google account. Then you sign up for the Google Tag Manager. Then you can connect your Google Tag Manager to the shop by entering a little bit of code for the head area and the body area of the shop here. All the information you need, you will find within your Google Tag Manager profile on Google. And then you can enter several codes in Google Tag Manager, for example, to connect your shop to Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and other tracking and marketing tools provided by Google, and even some from other partners. So, and this is then one place where you have all your codes and all your tracking codes on the Google side directly, and you don't have to, fiddle around with implementing them in your shop. You can just implement them in the Google Tag Manager. And we just implement the Google Tag Manager, which is really easy, especially if you're using tools for multiple pages at once. It's really easy to just make changes in your Google Tag Manager instead of always having to go into the shop and making changes there. So this is why it's here. And then we also have the Favicon, which is always the little tiny icon. There's currently no icon here. It's a bad image. So you can, upload your own icon here you can delete it. You can upload your own icon. If I would now choose this, and then I could go save. And if I then look at my shop, it's right here at the top, written before the page title. Now here, this little, which is my logo also, is also my favicon. So it's for, making a bookmark like these here for my page. Of course, the Facebook bookmark I have here is the Facebook logo and so on. So this is what a favicon is, and you should have one. If you do not have one, you could just, use a graphic like I used, which might look all right. Or there are a lot of tools in the internet. Just Google how to create a favicon. You'll find a lot of tools where you can actually create your own favicon from your logo. Just upload your logo and it will create a really good looking favicon for you. Pretty easy to do. And then the last thing is you can decide on the colors of your shop here. You have usually 1 or 2 base colors, and then one which is more for accents, one for highlights basically. And you always have to do a little bit of trial and error. What color is what? As you can see here, this is the background for the header area, which is now light blue. And I would probably go and change this to a more neutral color so that the blue of my logo looks much better. As you can imagine, with a blue logo, if I go green, I can just change the colors here. So this wouldn't really look good. This wouldn't look good. Nothing would really be a nice color for that logo color. So I would go white or with a light off gray, just to make the differentiation between the content area and the header area. I always prefer if there's a light color difference here. And then we have the base color, which in our case here is responsible for some logo colors, as you can see here, for the basket icon, for how the product font is written and so on. So in this case, I would probably try to choose the same blue. Now, of course, it's a little bit of guesswork here to really hit the correct blue. But there are also lots of tools you can use to do that. For Firefox, the browser I'm currently using here, I can recommend a tool which is called Colorzilla, which is a plugin for your Firefox browser that you can just Google, put into Google Colorzilla. You can see it in my top right screen here, hopefully. And that allows me to use something called a color picker. So I could just, move my mouse over certain colors on my page. Like in this instance, this blue here, and then just click on it. So I copied the hashtag number, and then I can put it in here, and it will be exactly the same blue now between my logo and my other icons. So this is one method to find out what color is what. So Colorzilla, and then use the page color picker here to, go for certain colors. It actually seems to be, well, that's the correct color, right? Yeah. Go back to the colors here. Is this what I just? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm just using gray, and this blue all over my shop looks pretty good here with the menu also. So I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, and this is already everything down here in the editor, which is there to, do your header edits, everything you want to edit for your header area, for your footer area, some code-related general things, and some color-related things. Also, you can choose fonts. We have a selection of fonts for headlines and a selection of fonts for basic text that you can easy, without having to worry about, once again, putting in code or anything. Just choose whatever you think looks good for your shop. You can, try them out here. Just hit save, and it will automatically change. Also in the preview here, same with the regular text, where you can just, change this one around until you found something that you like. And then once again, just hit save. And you changed all the fonts on all the pages. And then also you have an input window here if you are a very sophisticated user and you know how to write CSS, which is a script language. It's the script language we use to create our theme templates, and you could basically use developer tools to see the CSS of your own page. Just use the developer tools, for example, from Google Chrome or something, and then, you know, make changes to the code of the template. But this, of course, is done on your own risk, and I would only recommend doing so if you are really somebody who is used to using CSS as a script language. If not, this is why we create all the tools to change colors, to change, you know, fonts and so on for you, so you don't have to worry about using codes, because we want to make our software really friendly to use by everybody without knowing web design, of course. Okay. Yeah, that's everything for the footer area here. But now the page, of course, consists of more design elements, let's say, than the header and the footer. We have all this stuff in the middle, right? Where we have, you know, our products here with all the example images, but we have an empty product slider, image slider here, and so on. So we really want to make this page look nice now. For this, I have to go to pages here, and then I can select whatever page I want to work on. So this is the starting page. This would be a category page. This is the About Us page. And in most of these pages, you always have already some example text and example images. All the pages we pre-created. If you create a brand new page, which you can do here, or if you create a new category page using the main menu, going to products and then categories, where you can create more product categories, then those pages will basically be empty to start with. And the editor is the place you have to go to change them. For today, I want to edit the starting page together with you. So we already have an empty element here for a product slider, an image slider, sorry. And to add images to your image slider, you just click here, and then it opens this dialog picture. And here you can upload an image. And lucky for me, I have a slider image prepared here. So I just double click it, and it's uploaded to the shop. Now, it says I should use an image 2000 by 500 pixel, which is not an image I currently have, and I'm not a graphics designer, so I cannot change the one image I have. I have to use the one I have. And you see that all the heads are cut off and the feet are cut off, and now I can make a choice. I can either leave it like this, or I can put it to the bottom, or I can put it to the top. And I decide to do this. So just the feet are missing, but actually the heads are there. So I like this. So even if you're not a graphic designer, you have some options here to play around with the pictures, realign them a little bit better. But of course, the best result will be if you use 2000 by 500 pixels as your size for your images here. But once you're happy with the image, always make sure that the image is not just, you know, an empty shell. We always want our images to transport emotions and, you know, grab attention, but we always want to make those actions interactive. So always make them clickable and lead somewhere. So maybe this is like an advertisement for the new spring collection or the new summer collection coming out soon for our brand new fashion shop. So we could probably go to the preview page here, and let's say to category, and then I could just, you know, take the link from the category. Let me maybe go away from the, oh, I need to open my shop. So give me a second here. So I would save this, go to the main menu, go to settings, general, and open my shop. Okay, and then save. So now I should be able to see the shop. Yeah. So I will, let's say this is our summer collection category. So I copy this address here, and then I go back to my editor. I go back to my page. I click this pen icon, and now I go to this text field here. So we edit the image here. Now we go back to text, and I will put the link right here. And then I put text, summer collection, right? I could put even more text here, whatever. And then I can decide to open this in a new window. This I would not recommend because we want to stay within the shop. Or show a button, and this is what we want to do. And I will say, click here, or buy now, or check out now, or whatever other message you want to put here, right? And what you also see is that the image now changed its colors. It got a little bit gray because we added text here, and we want to make sure that the text is really visible. And therefore, we have another setting here, which is this one, which is an overlay in black with a transparency to it. So we can make it all black, or we can, remove all the black. And you can check out here to make sure that your text is really visible. You could also, change the color of your text. But of course, changing it to blue or to gray doesn't make it that much better. You can change the color of the button. But once again, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be that much better. So I would go for maybe 25, 30% of black overlay here. So it's really, everything is good readable and very good visible for everyone who visiting your shop. And remember those settings, it's 30% black because we will need it in a minute. Yeah, so once I did this, I'm very happy with the image. We can always check our shop now and see if it looks good. This is how it looks. You see it actually moves. That's something the theme automatically does. We have our little gray header area here with our nice blue in it. We have our header image, we have text, and we have a button. And if we click here, it leads to the category. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, since this is a fashion shop, we will probably have categories like men's, women, and maybe kids. And we want to put this in our menu, of course, but we also want to make it more visible with images. So we go back to content elements. And here you can choose a lot of elements and put them on your page, which are very fast and very easy to create, like images or texts or many others like image galleries or videos or maps or product sliders, or you can directly write HTML on your page or have a contact form or just a line for dividing content from each other. I will go to images here. I will choose 3 images and just, click on this element, draw it over here, and then I need to look for, and I hope you can see this blue plus sign that appears. Once this sign appears somewhere, I can drop the element into this line, and now it's below our image slider. And now it says I should use images 1240 pixel, and I could just click here, and as you can see here, funnily enough, I do have some pictures here, and I will upload them very fast, very easy. Just click and they are uploaded. Now, I hope you can see this. Those images are not quite perfect because they are always a little bit of a different size. So this one is a little bit smaller than this one. This one is once again a little bit bigger than this one, but it's a little bit smaller than this one. So of course, ideally, I would want all these images to be the same size. So in order to all get them the same size, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this icon here. And now I can choose a format like 1:1, which would be a perfect square, or 2:3, 4:3, 16:9, and then just select the part of the image that I want, maybe like this, and then hit save. Now you see the size changed. Now I'm going to do the same with this one and choose the same format, which is really important. Probably center this like this, and then do it on the last image, 16:9, and then put it like so, and say save. And now you can see that all 3 images are the same height and all look really nice and perfectly fitting together and looks really, really good. Now, once again, we also want to put a little bit of text and a button on all of these smaller images. So once again, we click on the pen, click on the text thing here and say, I'm women. And then once again, put a link in here, right? And the button. and say, click here. Save. And once again, you can see that the image did get a little bit darker. So once again, we remember we can go here and then we can actually change this also to 30% because I think this is good enough. Maybe even less, maybe in this case, 20%. It's trial and error. Just try it out and see if it's still very well readable, and then it's fine. And then we do the same with all the other ones. This is kids. And we put our link in here. And then once again, click here. And then directly go here and make this 20. And save. And then with the last image, the same, this men, link, button, click here, and then go to 20. And done. So we have three really nice images now, all the same size, all with the same kind of text on it, all making sure that people will actually click on it and everything is linked. This would be linked to the women collection, kids collection, men's collection. And this is how we build the content for our pages, right? Let's check out our shop now once again. And you see we're already getting somewhere, right? We are adding a lot of color by having very colorful images. This is why I chose to not make this a colorful header area or a very colorful bottom footer area, but actually because I have very colorful images. Usually you want good images, interesting images that grab attention to do most of the design work in your shop. You do not need to, have a green background to grab the attention if you have nice images. If we would now go back to our themes, we actually created a little bit of content, and now I want to show you how to preview stuff in your shop. So now I can just hit this eye icon on the themes to get a preview with the images I did put in my shop. So this is how the shop would look like in the structure individual theme, for example. So you'll see everything is much smaller, everything's much more divided by white, and then we have this background color. The writing is a little bit different here. I like this a little bit more than the version we have, but I don't like this too much. And I also don't like the split up part of all my elements. I liked it better like this, and everything is, much bigger and much more welcoming than this one here. Let's check it out with another style here. And you see with this really dark background, it really dulls down all the colors and makes it not so interesting anymore. The yellow doesn't really fit here, so it's maybe not a good idea. I can try it out with the pink background here. So you see, if of course I only show this little portion of image here, my image totally does not work anymore. I would have to use a different image now, which is much less width than the one I did use. So uptown, once again, maybe not perfect. Everything's on a pink background now, which sounds cute, but as you can see, it's really not. I hope you see the same that I'm seeing here, or I get the same impression. And you see editorial, once again, is very similar to the one we used, just with this really dark background, header area, sorry. So the header area is not really fitting to everything else. Yeah, no, not a favorite of mine. And this is how you can, with a little bit of content you created, check all the different themes. I don't like this one. Maybe I like this one. And this is also okay, right? I also like this one. But I would have to change this color. I don't like that it's black. And now you can see what I said in the beginning, that actually our view field is primarily within this center area of 1000 pixels. So what is a little bit more obvious maybe in this theme is that the logo and also the basket and the search icons are very far off to the right and to the left. So this is something that could be a problem if you have a shop that is visited by more, not so internet used audiences, because they might just not look for these icons on the far left or on the far right and might never find your basket. So this is a theme that is cool if you want to sell to very young people, very internet savvy people. But if you really want to include all audiences and like this basic structure, I would always go for the Limelight theme in this case, because it's just everything is centered, even the basket and the logo. So these are the differences between the themes, and this is how you can try them out. You can try them out with different colors and so on, and it gives you some really good ideas how your shops should look like. If you say, well, the one I created is fine, you just click cancel and you are back to your original theme. And now we can create all our other pages. Just go to page, category, and now we could, create an image here, or if we do not like an element here, we could just remove it and say we just want to put some text here, or maybe we just want to put a video here, or the bestseller products. Maybe we want to show our bestseller products here. So we just put a product slider here, say bestsellers, very easy, and then say, okay, choose some products here, and I'm choosing this one. You could also go by, product numbers and just add a couple of products here. And you have your bestsellers on the top of the page, and then you have all your other products at the bottom of the page. This is one pretty nice method to immediately show products, maybe because you want to follow it up by a little bit of text here, which is, of course, always useful for Google to have text here on those category pages so that they will be easier found. Yeah. And that's basically how you design your shop and how you should design it and why elements are designed the way they are. I see one question here about discount codes. Unfortunately, this is not really a topic that we are going to discuss today. So please ask your support hotlines for that. I'm happy to do one of those webinars every month for you in Netherlands. And we can, of course, cover a variety of topics. We just wanted to do this pilot episode, as I said, today about something that is asked like a lot, which is always how to use all the design elements. Where do I put, text on my images and links on my images? We could totally, do a whole webinar about how to use discount codes and put them into a marketing campaign and what to do with them, because that would probably fill 40 to 45 minutes. So if you liked today's webinar, this is basically the end. If there are any questions, I do not see any. Feel free to type them in now. If I've left anything open. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining today. There will be a very, very short survey. It's just like 2 questions, something like this. At the end, when I close the webinar, I would be very happy if you could answer them, give us a little bit of feedback, how you liked it today. Just say, was it good? Yes, no, or I don't know. And what other topics you would like to see in the future. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, there is one more question. Let me look at that. Did you record this webinar? Can you send me the link? We did record this webinar, but I cannot give you the link yet because I do not have the link. It will be on the STRATO YouTube page for the Netherlands, so the Dutch STRATO YouTube page. Otherwise, contact STRATO maybe next week and they will be able to tell you the link of the webinar. Can we get this info sent by mail about discount codes, you mean? Unfortunately, not by me, at least, because I really do not have the time to answer individual merchant questions via mail, because then I would have to answer probably a few thousand mails per day. But you can, of course, always ask the STRATO support to help you out on that. Okay, cool. So thank you very much for joining me today. Hope to see you maybe next month if you liked it. Until then, have a nice day.